Today's episode might just be the best one yet. For the last 2 episodes, I've asked you all for recommendation on what should I try on Shopee. And today I have prepared the most recommended, the tried and tested. Most of you not only know how these taste, these are your favorites. I will put the over-under on can stays at 4.5 today. And on top of that, there will be a 30% off if you buy it through the links. I'm super excited for today's episode. Let's jump into it with this 自海锅 self-heating clay pot rice. They have many different flavors. I bought the curry beef and the Sichuan style sausage. It already looks really impressive, like the graphic design. And this is a rice dish. When you open it up, it's like astronaut food. There are 4 to 5 sachets. And this, I was really impressed. They measure and give you the exact amount of water to add to your rice. So you're really cooking the rice on the spot. You add your sauces, your sides, which are corn here, and then your main, which I got the Sichuan sausage. You add water to the heating pack to activate it, and then you steam. And just as I finished saying that, I think the steaming has concluded. This is so cool eh. Let's see what we got. I feel like I should say that this can get very hot, so be careful. Oh yo! Technology! The lapchung looks so legit. As with cooking normal rice, we want the steam from the bottom to escape so that the rice dries up a bit, redistributes the moisture. Let's see how it tastes. As a foodie, right, it's not always about the culture, heritage, authentic food, or the Michelin restaurants. Such instant food, right, is so fascinating. A piping hot clay pot rice dish in 15 minutes. The seasoning is really nice. They are not stingy with the sausage. Like almost every other spoonful, you get a sausage. The sausage is quality, not the kind that has a lot of fillers, and it lends that really nice sausage taste to it. If I were to have one miss, it is that the rice is too light and fluffy, because I think they had to have some sort of compromise when it came to the rice, because normal rice don't cook that fast, even with a rice cooker. So they had to use a different kind of rice or process the rice somehow for it to meet the 15-minute mark. The sausage being high quality is really the heartbeat of the dish. I'll give this a can stay. Really delicious and fascinating. Let's move on to our next course. Next, we have hui noodles. I went with their crayfish flavor. Again, look at the graphic design. This is so cool. When you open up, there are a few packets. The sauce, the crayfish base, spring onions, each with their own design. You cook the noodles down, and it's interesting that they say that you should start with cold water and cook it for 10 to 15 minutes, which means that they really want the noodles to hydrate properly. You pour the water and then you add everything else in. And the way that it sucks up the sauce is so nice. So even. And then on top of it, I'm gonna put some sashimi that I got from Fassler. 400 grams for $25.50. Anyway, let's give this a go. The smell of the crayfish is crazy. The best noodles so far in the series. Impossibly cute. When you bite in, it's like biting through al dente spaghetti, but it somehow bounces back. It is the al dente texture, but recurring. I don't know what technology is behind this. Probably some really high gluten flour, but it's so satisfying. The crayfish flavor really addictive, salty, savory, and really have the crayfish mala flavor. Sashimi is nice as well. Although at this price point, I cannot really say that I can tell the quality difference. It is more important that the sashimi is handled well. And Fassler does that really well. They will contact you on the day of delivery. Their sashimi is delivered in a cooler box with ice. The sashimi itself is vacuum packed. Which, since we're on this topic, we might as well explain sashimi grade. Sashimi grade is given to fish that has been processed in a well-established cold chain. This means that after they are harvested, they are flash frozen so as to kill off any parasites. But then you would think, wouldn't my fish quality suffer if it's gonna be frozen? Very minimally. At the industrial level, they have blast freezers, so the damage done by water crystals is very minimal because the fish freezes so quickly. The water crystals form are very small. Whereas if you try to freeze it with a home freezer, the water crystals takes very long to form, and thus they are bigger. That really damages the meat integrity. So coming back to Fassler, it's more important that your fish is handled safely rather than nitpicking on the quality. If you're gonna nitpick the value. $25 for 400 grams 400 grams can make 3-7 dons comfortably, I think. The noodles get a can stay, the salmon sashimi gets a can stay as well. I think it's a really good option if you want to have sashimi at home. Let's move on to our next course. Hey guys, editor here. I'm literally eating these noodles right now as I'm editing this, and it's so fascinatingly different. First, the ma or numbness is 100 times stronger today. I'm not sure if it's something I ate before that dulled the numbness, or maybe cooling it makes it less obvious. But the numbness today really interfered with the crayfish flavour. Also, the noodles are pretty gummy straight out of the pot, but when you let it cool off, it becomes increasingly bouncy and cute. This should not happen in the normal world of noodles, so there's some technology going on. I will say that the cooled off noodles are way better. I'm still gonna keep the can stay rating, but it's a softer one. Now, on to our next course. Oh, sorry, I forgot to rate the drink. I'll give them a kind try. It's whatever. If it's not already obvious, this is an orange drink, not actually orange juice. It's only 18% pulp and juice, which is fine if you just want something easy to drink, but nothing special. Our next course is rendang. Rendang niat berapi kailu aming. It comes in these packets, and there are bits of chicken breast inside. I reheated it on the wok. Serve it on rice along with kacang kapri tari bali, which are roasted garlic peanuts with some seasoning. There's even bits of fried garlic. And then this emping melinjo, which are snacks made out of melinjo seeds. These seeds are flattened, sun-dried, and then fried along with brown sugar, salt, red chili pepper, and garlic. So, let's give this a go. Legit rendang. You can even see on the surface the strands of lemongrass, the coconut milk splitting. All of the flavors very alive. And it being instant is a big plus. If any of you have made rendang before, you know how tedious it is. However, chicken breast is really dry. These little cubes of chicken breast is not very satisfying. I wonder if they have a beef version. And it being so scattered doesn't really make for a good mouthfeel. I'm curious behind the decision to put chicken breast though. Maybe it has something to do with extending the shelf life. What I would do is to pan fry some chicken thighs and then add this onto it. Because the rendang itself is legit. The roasted peanuts are your roasted peanuts with just a little bit of garlic and seasoning. Is it addictive? Yes. But is it much better than the average roasted peanuts? Not really. It's the roasted peanut with a nicer t-shirt. And then to the most interesting thing on this plate, the melinjo chips. Very well made. You all can hear the crisp, the seasoning's on point, sweet and spicy. The sauce coats it very well. It almost has this Korean fried chicken texture to it. Like, you know, the sauce on crispy. I'll give this a can stay if you are a fan of that bitter aftertaste you get in tapioca chips. On the packaging, they say that there has almost zero bitter aftertaste, but there still is. And I think there is no point removing this bitter aftertaste. There's this signature fragrance to it. So if you like that taste, and if you know what I'm talking about, you will really enjoy this. I personally enjoy it. I think it's a very unique taste, so it's a can stay for me. The peanuts and the rendang, I'll give it a can try. Let's move on to desserts. For desserts, we have this Ipoh Changjiang coffee, 2-in-1. And they actually have their own sachets of brown sugar inside. They don't mix it directly into the sachets, so that there is a siew dai option. I didn't add the sugar, so that I get a more accurate taste perhaps. And then with it is a protein hazelnut latte pudding from RR. 20 grams of protein, 148 calories. What else do we got? 3 grams of fat, 15 grams of carbohydrates. Is this good? Any nutritionists in chat? I'll do the coffee first. Pretty nice texture. Let's give this a go. The sweetness level of just the sachet without additional sugar is very suitable for me. You get just enough sugar such that it doesn't taste bitter, but it doesn't actually taste sweet. You're tasting more of the fragrance than anything. There is still that tiny bit of instant coffee taste. I guess you really can't run from it. But I would say not bad. And then the hazelnut latte pudding. Decent texture, I guess. Creamy. Give it a go. I don't quite like it. It tastes like the cream on top of birthday cakes and a bit thicker. It is not sweet at all. At the same time, it feels very fatty, which is strange to me. Like as a dessert, if it's that fatty, right, that creamy, right, I feel like you need to match it with some sweetness. But I don't like it. The coffee gets a can try. The hazelnut latte pudding gets a can skip. We didn't end up on the sweet note, but still the lineup today was really good. Especially the self-heating rice and the Hui instant noodles. I'm very impressed with the current level of instant food. And remember, if you buy any of the tech products through the links, you should get a 30% off voucher from Shopee, a minimum spend of $30, capped at a $100 discount. The voucher ends this month, if I'm not wrong. So those of you who have recommended me your favorites, it's free real estate. But for now, that's all I have for you guys this time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!